my name is Diane Hewitt, and I'm the Vice Chair of Lowell Township Democratic Organization, LTDO. In today's episode of LTDO TV, we're going to talk about petition circulation for the 2020 general election. We'll go through some general information for circulators, rules for signers, and some general suggestions in just a few minutes. Each candidate has to collect a specific minimum number of signatures from voters in their district in order to be placed on the ballot for the November 3rd, 2020 general election. A local candidate can turn them into the DuPage County Clerk's Office at 421 North County Farm Road in Wheaton, or to Jerry Galloway or Peggy Nasty, or if you are a judicial candidate or a state rep candidate, to Springfield, Illinois, beginning at 8 a.m. on November 25th until the close of business at 5 p.m. on December 2nd, 2019. Petition circulation begins every fall, starting in early September, and continues until the deadlines listed above. Presidential petitions and their delegates are circulated from October 5th, 2019 until January 2nd, 2020. Candidates can and do challenge each other's petition signatures in the hope of getting one another thrown off the ballot. In general, the rule of thumb is to get twice or 3 times as many signatures as the position requires in case some of them get challenged. For elected precinct committee persons, signature requirements are as low as 10, while for other offices it can range to as high as nearly 1,200 for county-wide positions. Petitions can be found in your Google Library for Precinct Committee People folder by asking the candidate or by emailing LyleTownshipDems@gmail.com. Some petitions are printed on legal-sized paper, but they will come with a notation about that. Some candidates get them union printed, in which case you have to get them from the candidate, from the campaign, or from one of 3 LTDO literature pickup locations. Use a clipboard. There are upgraded clipboard options that open up so that you can carry literature, more petitions, and pens, which is what I prefer. Or you can get them from the dollar store for $1 and use multiple ones. The top portion of each petition is filled in by the candidate rather than the circulator, unless they are one and the same. This section must be exactly correct. Otherwise, it is invalid or becomes a legal matter. Copies are made from the perfect petition template that has been approved of by an attorney. The middle portion of the petition, the portion in a box, will vary depending on the office being sought. Some ask for different categories of information rows, so be sure to always read the required categories carefully. Do not cross out a name or use whiteout on the petition form. If you or the signer make a mistake, just go to the next line. When you turn them in, let the campaign know by putting a sticky note next to the issue with a clear description of the issue, and they will take care of it. Each campaign has procedures for striking signatures. They are done by one person at the end. The last section must be filled out in the presence of a notary. You can find notaries at libraries, banks, and LTDO meetings. There is no cost for notary services in general. Rules for petition signers. Any individual who is 17 years of age and who will be 18 years of age on the date of the general election on November 3rd, 2020, and is otherwise qualified to vote shall be deemed eligible to circulate a nominating petition or a petition proposing a public question. Circulators do not need to be registered to vote in the district for which he or she is collecting signatures. You need to use blue or black pens only. The circulator must personally witness all signatures given and sign the required circulator statement stating that all signatures were taken in his or her presence. One cannot send a petition around in a room or set it out in an entryway and then come back to it. One cannot mail a petition to someone for them to sign. No one may be considered a circulator of any petition page except the person who signed the circulator's statement. Do not number the petitions used at the bottom. The candidate will do that. Never use ditto marks or abbreviations. A petition circulator must complete the circulator statement at the bottom of each petition sheet certifying address, age, and citizenship information. This statement shall be sworn to and signed in front of a notary. Do not sign it unless in the presence of a notary. Rules for petition signers. A signer must sign his or her own full name as a signature and not for anyone else on the petition. A signer can sign for several candidates of the same party for the same office. Petition signers shall indicate on such petition their residence address. However, the state, county, city, village, and town of the residence may be pre-printed or printed afterwards on the petition form. A signer can only sign once per candidate per election cycle. Use blue or black ink only. Never use ditto, marks, or abbreviations. If you have any questions, email lyletownshipdems@gmail.com. All of this came from the primary source of the 2020 Illinois Candidate Guide. There are a few suggestions that we have. 1, take as many petitions for as many candidates as you can find while canvassing or gathering petition signatures. Most precincts will have multiple districts with multiple candidates. If you get someone to legibly sign in all of their details on the first line, then they can sign their name on the rest of the petition and it goes very quickly. In these cases, you may wish to write page numbers in pencil on the corner on the backside. Consider dividing up your clipboard into regions to make it easier to organize and get people to sign. A handy trick is to use a large rubber band to keep one's place with a stack of petitions by putting it on the page most used. Turn the petitions in when you get them notarized on a rolling basis, or at least 2 to 3 weeks before they are due. The candidates usually make copies or scan them and need to go over them with their attorney. They also track them continuously through the fall to be sure they get enough signatures. Candidates will strategize when to turn in their signatures, as this determines their placement on the ballot. First and last are always the most coveted spots. If you're collecting signatures in public venues like train stations, farmers markets, and meetings, understand that these places tend to have fewer registered and party identified voters. One commonly estimate is that 50 to 60% of these signatures are good. The best ones, that is, those least likely to be challenged, are found by knocking doors with the accurate voter file list. Thank you very much for watching another episode of LTDO TV. My name is Diane Hewitt, and we'll see you again next time.